Hey, it's Bob over Bob's Psycho Barn. Walking in the back, getting the camera going here, but I want to talk about another bike we have here that presented a big problem for us. When it came in, we were told that it had no spark. So that's what we've done and tested. We want to kind of go over what we've done so far and then show you what we found, and we hope we fixed the problem. All right, here we go. Roger. George McLeod's here with me. He's the guy doing all the stuff. All right, so what we did was we replaced we didn't do this. We got the bike, the pickup coil had been replaced. What was the other thing? The regular coil had been replaced. And
yeah, so the pickup coil down here, guys.
Yeah, right down there.
Where the flywheel is. You got magnets on the flywheel. That's your pickup. And then your coil up here for the ignition is right here in the frame.
Mm-hmm. All right, so those two things have been replaced. We did a compression test, and we got one. We were told that it didn't have good compression, but it turns out it had 180 pounds of compression, which is super good. So that led us back here to the back of the bike. We checked the fuses first. They're right there.
And if you guys don't know how to access those, you got to pull your computer off first. And this little box is like down in here. So if you pull the computer off, it's easier to get to.
Yep. And it turns out, well, of course, this is, because this is fuel injected bike, this is also control the fuel injection and the oil injection and everything else, all the sensors and all that other stuff. So then we took, we had another bike in here, George's bike, which has the same computer in it. We pulled it out and swapped it to see if that's the last thing it could be electronically or electrically that would be a problem, would be this. Well, we put his computer on here, and of course, still no spark. No spark. So then we decided, well, maybe it's the stator itself, and that was what we were getting ready to do, is to pull the stator out. There's this cover, there's the stator. We pulled all that apart, and then while we were thinking the next thing is we got to start tracing wires. So while we were doing this, we started looking at wires, and look right here. All right. It's a broken wire, not a broken wire, but a frayed wire, and I think both wires, there's two wires in there, we think they're touching each other. So now we're going to trim this up and figure out if this is our problem. We've been fooled so many times about stuff like this on motorcycles. Oh yeah, that's got to be the problem, and you fix it and it's still not the problem.
Not your problem.
So anyway, that's what we're going to do now. So I'm going to turn this off for a second, and then we'll get back to you when we've got this back together.
One thing real quick, guys. We just did another video on almost the same bike. We had an 18 in here that had a fuel problem, not a spark problem. But one thing I want to mention, if you guys are working on one of these TPI bikes, these have an IDI ignition. Okay, so if you're testing spark, okay, if you have the plug out, okay, and you're grounding it trying to test spark, on the old car bikes, okay, you can just pull the plug out, test spark, see if you got spark. On these TPI machines, you have to have a plug in the head, and then you need another plug or a spark tester to get spark. The reason for that is the computer's smart enough to know with no plug in it, there's no compression, and then it's going to kill spark to your machine. So we went through that on another machine in the past, so just make sure you do that. If you don't, you will have no spark, and you're going to be chasing a problem that you don't really have. So just keep that in mind, guys.
Okay guys, we're back again. So remember, right here we saw a frayed wire, and so I repaired that with some of these heat shrink type connections and stuff, and we're going to fire it up now and see if we got any spark. So here we go. George is going to, let me get my camera on this thing. Okay, go ahead, George. You know, there's something funny going on here. The bottom line is we don't have any spark. Where's this red thing coming from? All right, go ahead and hit it one more time. So we repaired that wire and right there, and so we still don't have any spark. That's coming straight from the pickup coil right there. This wire right here is coming straight from the pickup coil from the stator. So we're back to square one again. So anyway, so that's where we are. We'll get back with you when we get deeper in this thing. Thanks for watching. Okay, so what we've done now is I forgot where we were, but I repaired that fitting right there, and we put the spark plug back in, this spark plug, and try to fire it, and of course still no spark. So now I did this off camera, but what we did was I pulled the cap off of this, just like I just did, took it off of here and checked continuity between the coil and this end, and yes, we have continuity. And then we checked continuity on this plug just for chuckles. We can't get any continuity, and we've done this a zillion times, okay? We checked it, and we can't get any continuity, which means this plug is bad. The other thing, then I said, well, maybe my repair job here, where remember we had that frayed wire, maybe my repair job, maybe it isn't really good. So we checked continuity between here, down here, and on the other side of my repair, and yes, we got continuity. So we know now that this thing is working okay. So now we're going to try a different valve, spark plug cap, and see what happens. I'll be back with you in a second. All right, guys, well, we thought we had a bad plug, wherever that is. Here it is, a bad plug. We did try another one from another bike. You can see it's dirt. The bike was dirty. But anyway, we've been testing, and we're getting continuity from one end to the other. So we don't think it's the bad spark plug. That's the problem. The other problem we are having is we're not sure our multimeter, this nice Sperry one, is working all the time just right, but we think it is. But we did pull out another cheapo from Harbor Freight that it works kind of okay too. So anyway, we think it's not a problem with the spark plug cap that we thought was a problem before. So it's back to square one. We're now going back to the stator problem. So far on this bike, we still can't get any spark out of it, but anyway, he's going to go through it right now. Now, I will say this right now, we've got a good stator on it. That's from his bike. We have his computer system from his bike. We know they're good. And so he'll go through what we've done, and then we're going to tell you what we think it is now.
All right, guys, so kind of day 2 on this project here. Bob just got this bike in on Friday. It's now Sunday, and like Bob was just getting at, we have another TPI bike that we know runs, everything works, and we've been swapping parts over onto this machine. As far as the ignition on these go, okay, there's only so many parts to it, okay? As Bob said, we took a stator off a Husky, TPI Husky, same thing with a few minor differences, swapped that in. The previous owner put a new coil in it. We tested the coil, we know that's good. We've tested the coil wire that goes down to the spark plug boot. That tested good. We took another spark plug boot off a known working KTM, swapped that over, tested that. In a prior segment that you guys saw from us working on this bike yesterday, Bob and I found some damage on the wire right here. We got a connector, Bob got a connector and repaired that. Tested it today to make sure the repair is working and we're getting voltage through the wire there. Tested good, okay? The voltage regulator up here is a brand new voltage regulator, okay? Another thing that we had to remind ourselves of is these have to be grounded to the frame, guys, or grounded to some kind of metal, so keep that in mind. So at this point, we've gone through the entire ignition system on this bike. Once again, we have a new voltage regulator. We have a known working stator. We have a brand new pickup. We have a brand new coil. We've tested resistance to the plug cap from the wire going up here, okay? I know it's common, some guys have said on these TPI bikes, if you get dirt or these get dirty up here where it connects to the coil, okay, that can cause intermittent spark problems. This one's brand new, okay, so we don't have that problem. Okay, and when you put these in, there should be an audible click, kind of like that. We've tried no TPS, we've tried with TPS. Another kind of weird problem I'll mention to you guys if you have one of these TPI bikes and you're having a similar problem is we have no fuel pump power for some reason. So Bob and I are kind of deducing at this point we have some kind of wiring harness problem. Okay, and this is the main harness of the bike. You can see it goes down through the frame, it goes up to the computer, obviously goes back to the battery. You know, it's got to power all the sensors like the TPS, the crankcase pressure sensor back here, oil pump, all that stuff. So we're kind of at the point where we've run out of stuff to swap, we've run out of stuff to test, and we're just at the point where we're going to start tracing wires, unfortunately.
What we did, we studied the wiring diagram. Yeah, thank you. We studied the wiring diagram, and we found this cluster of wires. Now this whole thing's in a sheath. We had to cut that away, and you could see there's different colored wires all together. Turns out KTM did this for a couple of years. We don't think they're doing it. They did it for the 19 and 20 bikes, and then we think they changed their
18,
19, I'm sorry, yeah, 18. So anyway, they changed it. The red cap is ours. We looked at the wiring diagram, figured out where the fuel pump, what the wires and stuff should be for that, and sure enough, we don't know what the other wires are because we hadn't gotten that far in the whole thing. But we found this system, this one. These are red and white for the most part, or red stripes, whatever. They were all bundled together, and what they are, they're all bundled together. Then they're crimped. You can't see the crimp inside here, but there's a crimp, and then this plastic or whatever this stuff is put over it, like heat shrink probably. And so that's supposed to protect it from water. But I can tell you right now, when we pulled this off, we could see green color everywhere, which means water's getting to the copper, which is oxidized and then turning green. So anyway, we found that one. And that's this one right here. It's got the red and white wires. We put them all together, or trimmed to cut the little thing on the end off, put them together, and then used a wire nut to tie everything together. We're going to seal all this up really good. But anyway, so that's what we did. Now let us put the tank on, and we're going to see. We know it's going to start because we did it already, but we'll go ahead and finish this video for you. Hang on, hang loose. Okay, we got her hooked up. We do know this. Okay, we already went through the cycle, and we knew we got spark, which we didn't have any spark before. So now we got gas, and we're going to fire this thing up now, hopefully. So.
Hold on a second. Oh, here, hold on. We gotta hook the kill switch back up too.
Oh. Can you do? Yeah, we have. Did you hook it up?
Yeah, I hooked up the plug.
Oh. We had disconnected the kill switch, which is.
What's that little bullet connector?
Where it is. Where's the other part of it?
Can't see it.
Oh, right here. Here. All right. Hold up. Oops, sorry. Well, sorry, I can't. No, I lost it again. It's got to be. What the hell? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Can you
hold that?
Yep.
So as you guys can see, you don't really want to put everything back together until you know you got your project done here.
All right, he's going to hit the button now, and we'll see if she starts up. You'll prime it a couple times. This is a good idea if you have KTMs and stuff. This is the problem. Then they usually will start immediately if they're. kill button's working.
Yep.
All right, well, hey, guys, well, they said it couldn't be fixed. We thought it couldn't be fixed, too. I'm telling you, we have tested every connection, every ground, tested the ECU, which is that right there.
2 stators, 2 ECUs.
2 stators. We swapped. We didn't trust our ohm readings, even though they said everything was good. We swapped out stuff.
The customer put a brand new voltage regulator on it, threw a coil at it.
Yeah, put a coil at it. They put a pickup coil on it. Yep. So it's been a project, but we got it running now. From now, we got to just get all this wiring cleaned up and back on. So anyway, that's it.
The second bike they said they couldn't be fixed.
Right, exactly. But it was a chore.
Thanks, guys.